Hello, hi, yes, welcome to the video. Now you clicked on this because you saw an opinion online and you want to know whether you should agree with it or not. Well, I have been known to have some pretty tame ones, and some that are pretty out there. And today, this opinion feels like it could go either way. What if I told you Refraction Railway 6 as the best boss in Limbus Company? And no, I'm not talking about Yinlong. I'm talking about Imago, the big butterfly at the end. Now, before we get into the why, we first need to get through the how. As in, how is no one really praising this boss? Don't get me wrong, I think Yinlong and Will You Play are fantastic bosses in their own rights, each bringing something unique to their sections, but they just don't really satisfy that difficulty craving for me. And you might have rightfully guessed by now that by me saying this, that these are my opinions. So with that short intro wrapped up, let's get right into it. Before we can even begin to talk about Imago, we have to get there first. Or to fit the theme of the topic, in order to arrive at our destination, we have to go on a journey. I had more train puns here, but they were punfully unfunny.
Oh, brother!
Now, I'm sure by now you've seen the same guy videos from other CCs, regurgitating the same info you'd see on Reddit, so you hopefully already know about beating this dragon. But, in case you don't, allow me to sum it up for you. Phase 1. You clash skills, win those clashes, and deal damage until shield drops to 0. Phase 2. You turn one cheese strap by using Pagretio, kill Lord Lu, kill Cradle Jade, clash enemies, win the clashes, kill enemies. Phase 3. You clash skills, win those clashes, and deal damage until HP drops to 0. Repeat until Flower Wedged Pin is destroyed. Phase 4. Select your buff/nerf. Actually, whilst I have this chance, I want to get a little gripe I have out there. I love Yinlong as a boss, but Wave 2 being the Heishu, whilst thematic and makes perfect sense, really takes away from the flow of the fight in my opinion. I understand why they're there, I appreciate their presence in the stage, but it just felt off, especially when you apply the method.
It's free real estate.
That said, I just gotta get this praise out there. Capricious Mind is a great effect. I'll probably, hopefully if I remember to, expand on this in another video, but I really do enjoy that dilemma in how do you want to manage the buff it gives. Now, I really want to reiterate, but this is not a guide video. Seriously, who needs a guide in Limbus? Go and have fun with your own autonomy. With that said, however, Will You Play is a contender for best boss due to it feel like a Ruina fight, where you have to read. But let's be honest here, I know your laughing ass hasn't played Library. I am of course talking about the it mechanic they have, which designates one teammate as a ticking time bomb, and this is where the genius, or if you want to put it another way, the bullshittery of this fight comes in. It's the middle who are her teammates, all 6 of them, all of their defense skills active. Do I need to spell it out more? But that's impossible to beat, I hear you cry out. Not to fear, thankfully being it turned you into a damage sponge. Now there are ways to work around this. You can either, option 1, ignore the whole gimmick and rush down a child. Option 2, stagger whoever is it. Take care of Heathcliff and or Otis in one turn. Kill it. Rinse and repeat until all the middle are dead. This being the method I use. Option 3, don't play Railway. No one said you had to. But no, seriously, you should hopefully know by now, I'm a big middle fan. And if you don't, hi, I'm a big fan of the middle. I just really appreciate the synergy at play here. It's really simple, and it's really clever, and I just love the process at work here. Also, the skill tree is really cool. I wish this video was about Will You Play, but we gotta move on. Oh, also, this is Hohenheim. That's all I have to say about him. So, with section 4, there isn't too much to say. It's the Canto 9 bosses, but this time, you aren't having your hand held through the entire fight. The 3 bosses still all play basically the same. I don't want to ruin the surprise. Just play it like you did Canto 9 and you'll be fine. You did finish the story, didn't you? Of course you did. Why else would you be attempting endgame if you weren't at that stage yet? However, with that said, it is very important to note that unlike Canto 9, you fight them back to back, and sinners share the same HP once they move to the next boss. So when the DQ star fucks you up, you're gonna feel it against the Ring Nurse Father and the Pinky Nurse Father. So now we are finally here. You know, I thought it would take longer to get to this point. I'll be honest, I am not a fantastic scriptwriter.
No way! I can't believe this!
Only through you subscribing will I get better.
That's bait.
However, now that we are here, I find myself thinking back to the last boss that made me feel this way. Okay, you got me. I actually just wanted to include the last night. Can we please get a boss fight exactly like this again, or what?
And my life is yours.
If you were to ask me what makes Imago really stand out, I have one main reason. Resource management. That's the make or break for me. Let's go on a quick rundown of how to manage Imago. This boss is one main target and 3 smaller targets. They don't attack, they have 1 HP, and they don't die. Instead, they share half the damage dealt to the main target, Imago, and lose 1 stack of their respective stack when hit by a skill that designates them as the main target. This means, whilst AoE skills are effective at doing damage, the stacks still ramp up, and if you decide to leave them alone, they gain stacks. The aim of this fight is to get Imago to shift its current state to get inflicted with a debuff. And yeah, you could ignore manipulating the stacks, but you will be punished for it. It's why I can't stress enough this next part. It isn't overbearing. It's a very important feature of the boss, and something you should pay attention to, and even interact with. But it doesn't demand that you do. You can leave it alone. There's no forcing you to do anything. That is if you don't mind being steamrolled by Imago like it's part 3D, that is. Now, something that might be misleading is the boss's HP. 25,000 HP might seem very daunting, and I would agree to an extent, if it wasn't for the temporal disjunction debuff. But even ignoring that, I think it's fine. I'll admit, my first reaction was a little shocked, but then I remembered some of the IDs that came out this season. And some of the IDs before that too. It's fine. I mean, this is the final boss. Everything has led up to this moment. And this leads me back to the buffs we've been selecting throughout the railway. Because Imago has such a massive HP pool, it makes sense they'd have strong skills. And oh boy does it. It's why, if you pay attention to the past, present and future stacks, you'll see they have something in common. They all function the same way. Well, past and future do. Present gains, but work with me on this. At 0 to 10 stacks, skills inflict/gain more potency and count. At 11 to 20 stacks, clash power increases as well. And at 21 to 30 stacks, final power increases. And don't forget, the skills are all inflicting/gaining more potency and count. That's right, the buffs are cumulative. And I mentioned this because it ties back into temporal disjunction. Imago gains 5 fragile. It takes more damage and you only have to get to the 10 stacks, because that's what it caps at, in case that wasn't clear. But should you still attack the illusory butterflies of entangled lives? I mean, you've got an Imago as vulnerable as they're gonna get. Should you go for the kill? That's entirely up to you. Whether you care about low turn clears, or you just want to finally be done with this railway, it's all up to you. You aren't being forced to do anything, and I love that freedom to make my own choices. Even if they're dumb choices, they're mine to make. Or, well, ours to make. You get it. That's not to mention the animations just look so damn good. Truly, the one thing that always deserves praise is when the boss needs to look the part. It looks the part. I could go on about the skills, but they're truly something that needs to be experienced firsthand. For better, or for worse. Whether you've let the stacks build up, or you're dead set on playing with a gimmick, the skills change depending on which state Imago is in. I think something that feels underrated is the moveset changing. Imago feels like 3 bosses rolled into one. The different skills aren't locked behind phases or HP thresholds. You have to be prepared for all 3 at all times. Ignoring the fact that the skills are weakened thanks to the early sections, that still leaves 2 other powerful effects to deal with. You know what? I am really glad they decided to go down the route of weakening the effects, statuses, and passives, instead of removing all the difficulty and strategy. Yo, I just want to freestyle this section just a little tiny bit, because I was trying to think of negatives, and there are some. Hopefully I have talked about them now. I'm still in the process of writing the script, blah blah blah. I'm doing this because I feel, I don't know how to include it, and also, you know, some authenticity here. My only real complaint with the Imago fight, and yeah, I'm using the Hei shoes because I'm just trying so many teams because he's really fun. But I can never actually finish the fight, because then I have to go through the whole railway section again, which I know that's the purpose of the railway, but I would just like to fight Imago. You know, just Imago. And I probably mentioned it before, we go to the passives. I've kind of taken these whole things, and this is a big problem as well. This is one of the negatives. It's all, every single run I've done, I've taken all of these options, just to make him as weak as possible. So like this one here, when he's in the future state, all sinners gain bleed count. Rather than doing like, oh, whenever bleed activates on self or on sinners, heal HP to, equal to % bleed damage. So, this kind of limits what I can do, because I'm going to have to be in the future state, or get him out of the future state for temporal disjunction. And, so bleed units are kind of, Like, I would love to do a ring attempt. Yeah, the full ring team. Unfortunately, future just kind of says, any damage you can do, and I've actually tried it before. That's how I know. Like, any damage I do, he just heals up. So it's not bad, but I was going through a low clear count, or low turn clear count, and if he's healing, kind of goes against that. It was fun, mind you. It was definitely fun, but it just goes against what I'm trying to do here. That's really it, really. It's just, I wish we could fight Imago. Maybe ignoring these, I don't know. I'm really such a big fan. It's like, in the past, I think in the past is probably the most dangerous one. I think the present is the best one, or the best one to go against, because it's not outrageous. It's not going, I mean, it definitely can, but doing less crit damage. There's so much going for it, and I'm very excited to get into this. So I will let you know, or you'll probably see how that goes, and I guess we'll take it from there. Alright, so with all that said, I will catch you watching the rest of the video. I know I mentioned it earlier with Yinglong, and I'm bringing it back up again. This boss is just Imago. There's no Heishu transition phase disrupting the flow of the fight. I know that is subjective. You might like the fight being broken by an admittedly good fight stage. But for me, I like that instead of this, Imago just gets a little trickier to manage. I've tried a fair few teams by now, and although I haven't finished them all, whether for being a really bad attempt, or I was avoiding the dreaded runback, each one has been fun, and that's what I want to really stress. It was fun. I never felt myself getting frustrated. Now normally, when you face a boss in a game, you can get struck by a serious case of gamer rage. No one is exempt from this. And just because I didn't get frustrated by this, doesn't mean that you didn't. And I don't blame you. Everyone reacts differently. But that's what makes boss fights fun, in my opinion. When you know how you messed up. It's why I'm glad for games like Limbus Company, you get to read what the boss is capable of. All the information is available to you. It's up to you to capitalize on this opportunity. So really, all that's left to say is this has been my opinion. You may disagree. You may see things from my point of view, but I mean this with every ounce of my being. Imago is the best boss in Limbus Company. and I'm curious to know who your favourite boss is as well. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. It lets me know what kind of content you want to see. With that said, all that's left is to witness how well I did on my latest attempt with Imago.
당신의 지게가 설치한 내 모든 시간들의 아우성이 한눈 팔았으니 계좌 신장을 노려! 자신 있으면 받아봐. 최선을 다해서 뜨거울 것 조금 많이 절대 없을 거야. 심장을 노려.
이 구석구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자르지.
잘했잖아. 내 차례네. 숨막히도록 견딘 저밖에 갈망했으니 잘할 수 없이 처졌어. 순간이 되어 글쎄아이고 아니야 몰아치는 것은 저자가 없는
대상 저침탄 트랜지션 어색한 임상시험소
알아 오늘가 힘들었지? 여기서 잠깐 쉬어 차가운 밥에 따스해질 테니까 당신들 칼레르 모두 잘부터 기본
완성되지 못한 탓에 지리는 그대는 어디까지 가고 있을지 이중격파요 조준이 필요하지
이 순간이 다 되었네.
선물이라 볼 거면 자 이걸로 대신하지
예술의 경을 담지 난폭한 것이 숨을 타지 되는 이 순간이 다 되었네. 글쎄아이고 몰아치는 것은 저자가 없는
인틈 주성이구나 스켈레터 거스러워
이 순간이 다 되었네. 납득한 것이 숨을 타지 되었네. 이 순간이 다 되었네. 알고 있지. 예측은 의미 없다는 걸. 저리.
드디어 축구스톤을 먹지 않고서 관측 완료된 시간을 더 계산하여 축적된 과거로 먹어볼까? 발사.
글쎄이고 그럼 몰아치는 처지는 원 낫도 반듯이 스윗하드 페어 낫도 반듯이 스윗하드 페어네 그려낸데 그려낸데 사냥 끝 예측 글쎄이고 그럼 안녕 몰아치는 것을 처자란 원명 낫도 반듯이 스윗하드 벨레 이 불뚝은 예술의 황홀경치 이 순간의 다 되어내리라
빠르게 처리하지.
순간의 다 되어내리라
대상 처치 트랜지션 작동 인터션
자세가